Hello and welcome to the Spiritual Solopreneur podcast. Today, my guest is Maureen Gaetz-Faubert. Maureen is a certified emotional intelligence practitioner, emotional energy healer, internationally certified and licensed Heal Your Life coach, and workshop teacher who is passionate about healing from dis-ease. Her near-death and spiritual experiences have given Maureen the understanding that healing happens on many levels, including the profound ways that the energy of stuck emotions affects health and the body. Welcome, Maureen.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. So, Maureen, in addition to that pretty extensive list of certifications I just went through there, and I didn't even mention Reiki healer and medical intuitive. I do want to talk about your near-death and spiritual experiences, but first, when did you first realize that there's more to what's going on than what we can see and touch?
I realized when I had that spiritual experience during the near death and having a spirit appear in my hospital room, I realized that there was so much more to healing one's body than just through the medical health profession. Now, I'm just going to step back a little bit from that. Before that, I definitely was in my head, logic, linear, speaking, thinking, all of that. And when this happened, when the spirit came, I didn't question it. I knew it was real and I knew it was there for a purpose and a reason. So that's when my brain and my body went, just a second. Healing happens on multi levels of our physical and emotional bodies.
Exactly. So what led up to it? What happened?
Oh, yeah, right. Good question. I had a bowel perforation
Mm.
and went to ER with severe bowel pains, knowing something wasn't quite right. And on reflection, looking back, I've come to recognize that I had a bowel obstruction that eventually turned into perforation. They weren't exactly sure what was going on. We're talking about bowels, which is not always a comfortable topic. So they
Yeah.
they came to the conclusion that, I was constipated. And yet that wasn't part of my morning, honestly. I went to the bathroom several times. So I had a spasm of my bowel that was obstructed, and then they pushed all types, all kinds and types of saying two words together, of laxatives, top, bottom, thinking it would clear itself. And I didn't realize at the time that I was connected to my intuition, and I kept saying, this is not the right procedure. This is not going to work for me. It just didn't feel that that was the right procedure. And interestingly enough, one of the nurses said to me, whatever. And I was in ER for 11 hours. The very last x-ray, they determined that I'd had a perforation because everything was leaking into my abdomen. And very, very, very sick. Woke up with being intubated with a tube in my mouth, having no idea what had happened. Spent 2 weeks on life support. Once I was removed from life support, I was put into a room, a private room on my own, and it was a hard road, very hard road. I don't remember those 2 weeks, a whole lot of those 2 weeks, other than seeing my husband at the end of the bed every time I woke up out of what state I was in, unconsciousness, conscious. I just saw him at the end of my bed, and I said, "Were you always there? Were you always there for me?" We had little ones. We had an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. So again, I don't remember a whole lot. And for him, it's a bit foggy too because it's overwhelming, it's stressful, etc. However, back to the room, when I finally got into a room outside of ICU, and I laid there and said, I don't want to do this anymore. I can no longer fight for my life to live. Please, I just want to go. I'm done here. And that's when the spirit or the angel appeared and said, give it to me. I went, you got it. Here you go. And the next morning, the nurse was changing the dressing on my wound because it was open because I was septic. And she looked down and she goes, look how well she's healing. And I laid there smiling like a Cheshire cat from ear to ear, laying there in my head thinking, they don't know my secret. I didn't share it with them because I wasn't sure if they'd even believe what had happened to me the day before.
Probably wise. From what I've heard from other folks who've just listening on YouTube and so on, other people who've had these experiences, the first thing they want to do is tell everybody, and it doesn't go well. So,
Well, you know what's interesting about that whole topic is I have connections with many healthcare professionals, specifically frontline nurses, etc., respiratory therapists, and some are really close friends. They say that they have also experienced spirits, especially in ICU. When people are passing or people are getting better, they see it, they feel it, they know it. And I had one RN tell me that, you know what, they're there for a reason and a purpose, and it's a good reason and a purpose. They need to be there for those that are passing on or those that are coming back to us again. So even though it's not really publicly expressed because of judgment, no one likes to acknowledge what cannot be tested or confirmed or researched. It's not widely spoken about. So here we are. All of us are keeping secrets. And most of us have experienced this, especially if you've been in ICU.
yeah. So the do you feel like why did you get that? Do you know why you got the bowel perforation? I'm trying to get to the emotional stuckness part of it.
Right.
Is that what happened?
At that point, I wasn't even connected to emotions and the body. At that point, I truly didn't understand it. Certainly, I had the desire that I wanted to heal my physical body. I didn't know how to heal it emotionally at that point in my life. So I was relying heavily on my physicians and on the pharmaceutical companies to do that research, to give me that pill, that cure. I feel that what caused me to have the bowel issue, coincidentally, was medication I was taking to reduce inflammation.
Ah, yeah, that can do it.
Mm.
That can do it. So when you were just back to the angelic experience for a moment, did what did that look like? Was it just a being of light, or do you recognize this
It,
person, or
no, I didn't recognize it looked like a real person. Sorry to interrupt. Connecting to it, it was a real person. To me, initially, I thought it was Jesus in a white robe, legs crossed, hands out, saying, "Give it to me." So I thought, oh, Jesus, this is really cool. And then when I took my Reiki um, prac practical teaching or learning, I guess is what it is. When I learned about Reiki and became that practitioner. There we go. Let me say that properly. I then was guided by my master to connect to my spiritual beings because that's how you become a Reiki practitioner. You connect to spirit, the spirit realm around you. And I went on this journey and she guided me through the journey. And there's many, many, and yet there's one person who's very much the leader in all this. And I connected to her. And I said to her, I says, I've not seen you before. And she says, oh, yes, you have. And I go, where? And she showed me in the hospital room,
oh,
getting really emotional in the hospital room. And I go, that was you. Had a conversation with this beautiful spirit because spirits are always around us. And, yes, confirmed it as she showed me. And I've come to realize that she's actually a nun. Now, I'm going to add a little caveat here. I'm not Catholic. Um, I believe no matter what you believe or what religions are, if you believe in white, pure, healing light, there are all those beings around us that also believe and support that. So if we are in that space of accepting that, they will come to us. And she has been my spiritual support for many, many, many years. In fact, she channeled through me to me. I wrote a beautiful post and for Christmas and New Year's that was 100% word for word from her. And I didn't know it till I went to publish it and recognize that this didn't come from me, it came from her. And her name, she's a patron saint of illness, and her name is Sister Therese, and I'm sorry, her last name is French. I'm not French. I married someone that's French, and I can't say it. It starts with an L. I've probably been told it a few times. I don't remember how to say it. However,
Therese is fine.
yeah, she's also known as the Little Flower. This
Oh,
beautiful nun passed at 24 years old. She died of tuberculosis. She died on September 30th, 1897. So she is my spiritual guide,
oh my
and it's always
God.
beside me.
That is amazing. So it wasn't she's not an angel per se. She's more of a guide,
A spiritual guide, I would call it.
a
Yeah.
spirit guide, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
That is incredible. So did you find, so, since that near-death experience and meeting her, you've had multiple visits from her and communication and so on. Are you in sort of a meditative state at those times or not
Not at all.
particularly? No.
Not at all. No, 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 I'm not. No, she's just there. She's always there. I feel her there all the time. And when I'm struggling, when as a soulpreneur in the spiritual realm, something different, unique, and people call it woo-woo, which doesn't make me feel very
No.
comfortable about it. A little out there because we're so afraid of what we can't see, we can't understand, we can't test, we can't prove. That she's always beside me when I'm struggling. I just turn to her, ask her, get direction, help her just keep me calm and grounded. Show me, give me the answers. I would love to have the answers. They're not always there. One needs to find their own answers with the guide of beautiful, beautiful spiritual energy or spirit energy. So yeah, it's not too meditative. They're always around. I feel them
Awesome.
all the time.
Do you see any pictures or see her? Have you seen her again or
No, I have
hear?
not, other than those two times in the hospital and when I had my Reiki training.
Right.
It's the only times that I've actually physically seen her spirit form. I
Wow.
feel her.
You could, yeah. So I guess that's Claire cognizant or whatever, but it doesn't matter. It's how she's choosing to interact with you.
Or it may be my own personal limitations of, the humanity of our own physical barriers, me not allowing myself to see her
Yeah,
is
it
my
might be
main.
overwhelming.
I do feel her though. Sometimes I feel her brush against me. It's kind of,
Oh,
yeah,
what
yeah,
about
it's horrible.
dreams? Do you see her in dreams? Does she come in dreams?
Yes, I've had many, many spirits visit me in my dreams. My mom passed, my aunts passed, and they come visit me in
That's
my
awesome.
dreams. And even in semi-wakedness, I've had spirits be there.
Do you think that did you have those experiences prior to the near death or you did? Okay,
Oh, yeah.
because I've heard that many people who have a near death experience afterwards they have all these become psychic or have a lot of more spiritual experiences afterwards. I just wondered if you had anything accelerate in that area afterwards.
And yes, things did accelerate without question. It allowed me to really connect to the fact that spirit is around and there with me and with everyone, with others. We have them. All of us have our own guides. What I discovered, what I determined, connected to, is I'm able to hear people's souls speak to me. And I've done that all my life. People will speak to me, especially when I was young and I didn't have any boundaries. I didn't understand how to stop people's vibrations or spirits or their souls coming to me. I didn't know it. I would hear them say from their mouth words, and then I would hear completely opposite of what they're saying to what their souls are telling me. And I'd sit there going, well, how come are you saying that when it needs to be this instead? And I would really freak people out. Like they didn't like that I would ask questions, that I would show them things, and they're going like, well, how do you, where do you, how do you, all these questions. It's like, I didn't make people feel very comfortable because I was sharing their soul truth. And that's not comfortable a lot of times. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize they weren't hearing what I was hearing.
Wow. Did you how did you not be bombarded with those things? Just have stuff coming in. I know a lot of mediums have this issue where they just get stuff coming into them. Can you kind of tell it to stop if you need to?
You can. I've learned to put boundaries up because it is so very comfortable for me to just, and we're on zoom into somebody's energy. If I really want to connect to that person, really want to feel them, hear them, acknowledge them, really understand them, I just can zoom right into them. It's comfortable for me to do that. However, it's not good for them and it's not good for me. In addition, I'm disrespecting their boundaries. So how dare I go into their energy field if they haven't allowed me to do so?
Right. So you kind of make sure you have permission first.
I do. And when I catch myself going in, if someone's talking with me and I go in, I catch myself hearing, feeling what they're what they're feeling within themselves. I either stop or I ask permission at that moment to just plainly ask, may I share with you what I'm
Right.
hearing or what I'm feeling?
Right. Yeah, that's fair, you know. Some people probably say yes and some people probably say no.
And it's really hard when they say no because it's like their soul is screaming at me. So yeah.
Mm. Oh, wow. Is that part of what you offer your clients now? The ability to do that and how does what form does that take in terms of your programs?
Yeah, it's interesting. I discovered in my very first coaching client or with my very first coaching client that I could not only feel or hear energy, I could see energy attached to a person's body. And so I can as a
Looking
medical,
around.
yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
yeah. It's there. We all have all different types of energy. So I discovered that with my first client, and it was our third session in, and the next 9 sessions were amazing because it was all based in energy and emotions and things that were connected and things that need to be released and disconnected, or things that need to be brought back into that person's, physical and emotional and soul part of their being. And that's how I have moved forward because it is a natural process for me. So I see pictures, I see words. Sometimes I can't put pictures into words. So I explain what I'm seeing, and then, the client's able to figure it out. And together we kind of figure out what I'm seeing. At times I wish I could just have a quick artist draw what I'm seeing is this and this and this. So we work out that way. And also when it comes to the emotional healing or medical intuitive, I can feel where the pain is on people's bodies in my body. And when they come to me and tell me they're in pain, and I listen to them express, and then I say, okay, it's in this hip, on this leg, or behind this knee, and it's in the shape of a ball. And most of them are just blown away. And I walk away many times after sessions going, how did I do that? That's so cool.
Absolutely. And but you're not being told by your guide or anything in that particular case. You're
Probably I
actually
am. Probably I
probably,
am. I know that it's spirit universe. I know it's the energies of the universe and the spirits, my spirit guide who share with me what I need to hear, see, and feel. That part I know.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that first time that you saw the energy, is that what set you on the road to the emotional healing?
Yeah, within a couple of years after that, I gave myself the title Emotional Energy Healer because that's exactly what I do. I connect to the emotions in your body and create their energy. So all emotion, everything's energy. I just happen to be doing the emotional energy. So I connected the energy of emotions in your body, and I help you listen to your heart, which is our feeling center, and help you find and create the words that you have held, stuffed, or stuck in your body. So as you speak and as we sit, sometimes quietly, I can hear your body giving me words. So it is a positive way to move forward. I will share words that I'm hearing from the specific part of the body and say, here's what I'm hearing. And then they will just go forward with it and add to it and start finding it and really go deep and listen to their bodies and understand what emotions, and then getting to the root, like where did they come from? And recognize, oh, it's because of that experience or that trauma or that issue that I've stuffed it here. Okay, well, let's look at this. And it depends on what, I mean, each session and each person is different because we all carry different energies. We all have experienced different things. We all have experienced trauma. Each and every one of us have experienced trauma. Just falling downstairs is traumatic on your
Sure.
physical body.
Being
Having car
born.
accidents, pardon me?
Being born.
Yes, all of those things. So with each person, they hold it differently, they express it differently, and they understand it differently. So it's a process of really going within and feeling that safety within yourself and allowing yourself to finally hear and know how to express how you're feeling in words. Because we're not taught that. We
Yeah.
are taught logic linear thinking. We are not taught how to express our feelings and our emotions, and we're never given that list of words.
Yeah. Um, I've always believed that if you attack the energy situation first, when you have a physical ailment, it's going to go a lot smoother rather than the other way around. Do you find that? Is it, can anything, any dis-ease that you have be fixed if you approach the energy first?
There, and that's a one level of natural healing. I do one thing, and absolutely everything is energy. So whatever you say, whatever you think, whatever you put in your body is all energy. So if you first look at, as you're saying, the energy, and in my case, the emotional energy, what are you carrying? What are you holding on to? What are you dealing with? Once you connect to that, you can get those aha moments, and then you can look at a number of things. What can you do to heal this? What does that mean? It can be, again, the releasing, the accepting, the understanding. Also, do you need different foods? What kind of foods do you need to eat? Do you need to move, meditate? What do you need for that? Is there supplements available for that? I very much support essential oils, which have huge energy and very strong. And I'm hypersensitive. I was in a talking about essential oils, introducing them. They're great and wonderful, and they do amazing emotional support along with other physical things. And I was in a class one day where they were doing layers of oils, one after another, after another, after another. And 10 minutes in, I had to stop putting layers on. My body just went into a big, huge reaction because these oils are very powerful and they're pure. So your body can only handle so much. It's being what I call acutely aware of what you're doing to yourself. So when we look at the word emotion, part of that word is motion. So when you are sitting, as we do as solopreneurs, and we work away at our courses and do things, and we're connecting with people and just sitting in a spot, and things start feeling uncomfortable. Things aren't going proper. We get a little disorientated. Simply, in order to change that emotion or that situation or that feeling, all you have to do is stand up. Immediately, the energy changes. You have created a motion from the emotion. So it's a matter of
Interesting.
moving.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. If you stand up, then the energy is moving. So you're dissipating possibly and or at least moving stuff around.
Mhm.
That is a great tip for those of us sitting here working away and getting feeling more and more negative as
And
time goes on
overwhelmed.
and overwhelmed. Exactly.
I know when I was creating my website, I did all of the words. I didn't do the graphics because that's just not my area of expertise. And that to me is overwhelming. So I
Right.
hired someone to do that for me. However, it's a lot to create a website. We all know it's a lot to create content. So I knew I was overwhelmed and I knew I was blocked. My energy was blocked and stagnant. I got up, not only stood up, I walked outside to my garden. I laid on the grass in front of my rose bushes and just let the earth and my plants in my garden to just heal everything that I was holding on to, allow me to release it, to be one with nature and ground myself on that grass. And I was able to come back in refreshed and ready to start again.
That's great. I mean, going out in nature, grounding yourself in nature is huge if you can do it. And so many of us spend the whole day inside, and at the end of the day, it's dark out and go, oh, I didn't go out for a walk or anything. So,
Absolutely. And yes, we get like that. And I've learned and still learning. I have to say that. I'm here to learn. I am on this earth in this physical body, a spiritual form in this physical body, still learning every day and every minute of every day. And I've learned that when I see the sun shining, it pulls me. And even if I've got things I need doing, I go out and hang out with that sun.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Do you think that all those experiences that you had a bowel perforation, you had near-death experience, um, you had some other stuff too that we can talk about a little bit, but do you think that those things were all preordained for you, or you worked all those out before you came here, including the visit from your guide and everything else, so that you can do this work?
People speak about that. They ask questions about that. And I've never delved deep into the why behind I'm here today. Have I pre-organized that in my life? Has it been preordained? Have I sat up in a spirit form and said, I'm going to experience this and come to earth? That's a possibility for sure. What I do believe is that I am on this earth, this planet, amongst all of us human beings in that physical body as a spirit. I am here to learn and I'm here to experience and also learn from the experiences. And I'm here to create a better human me through the experiences that I've had the opportunity to live through and come out the other
Exactly.
side.
Right.
So
And
in
whether,
everything we do and say, we become a whole being, WHO, a whole being.
yes. And whether you decided on it beforehand doesn't really matter, does it? It could
No,
be, but at this point, it doesn't really matter that much. Um, you had some other things go on, and and you actually started a foundation or
a
the
nonprofit
a
organization,
nonprofit organization directed toward rare
rare,
conditions, correct?
rare disorders. Yes, yes. Yeah, that's interesting. When I was 29 years old, a few decades ago, I was diagnosed with a very rare connective tissue disorder. And at the time, I was in the realm of believing healthcare had the answer to my cure. So I founded a national organization called the Canadian Organization for Rare Disorders with the intention to help people who have rare disorders not feel alone, which is what I was feeling. My goal was to get information that I could understand about the disorder I was diagnosed with, written again in that understandable language, and get access to groups and other organizations along with people that had the same rare disorder so that we could have a group that we could connect with and develop understanding between each other. So 19 years, moving 19 years forward, being in that organization, doing some fun, wonderful things to bring people together, sitting down with the Director General of Health Canada at Special Access Program, getting funding through him, bringing national nonprofit organizations together, small, medium, and large, along with the rare disorder organizations, and just creating beautiful friendships along the way. I realized that I was never going to heal my body by waiting for the pharmaceutical companies to do research on my very, very rare disorder, and henceforth find that cure in the way or in the form of a medication. That's all I ever wanted, because I've had this genetic disease since I was born.
Yeah.
I only ever wanted to feel healthy. I didn't want to ache anymore. I didn't want to be tired anymore. I wanted to be physically healthy. And then when I found Louise Hay and understood what she was doing in the realm of metaphysical healing and understanding that emotions could be a cause of many diseases and conditions, diagnosable or not. And a lot of times physicians can't even diagnose what's going on because it's based so heavily in emotion, that I went, oh my goodness, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to connect to this. So about a month after I received my certification and license, I read a book by Dr. Christian Northrup, who quoted, and it's not a direct quote because I don't remember, it's not a memory. This is what she said. This is what I understood that she said. Quit stuffing your emotions in the connective tissue and energy field of your body for a lifetime. And I went, oh my goodness, that's what I've been doing for my whole life. Just a second, let's step back from that one. It's genetic. Oh, hey, I was born with this. Hold it. How many generations before me were doing the same thing, stuffing and sticking their emotions in their body because they weren't allowed, taught, or given the freedom and a safe place and space to talk about it? We were told, shh. My parents called it nervous condition. We weren't allowed to speak about it. They wouldn't dare speak about it. Why? Because society points fingers at us to this very day that if you express your emotions, if you have tears, if you speak on the language of feeling, you're weak. If you have need for that, you're considered weak. How dare you? Many, many men and women, because they were so energetically and emotionally connected to themselves and others, ended up in institutions because they were considered mentally ill. So there's scarcity behind acknowledging your emotions. And as soon as I discovered that I had been doing that, even though I had already practiced for years that, oh, it's emotions and body, I went, oh my goodness, I am the catalyst in this point in time on this world, in this universe, to change the outcome of my physical being for any future generations of my children, grandchildren, et cetera, and past generations. I'm here to change what has never been changed before in my generational family. And that's to heal my body and reduce the emotional impact that has caused me to be diagnosed with a rare connective tissue disorder.
What a gift to be able to be the one that puts an end to it, right? For all of your future, not future ancestors, but the future generations.
Right, right.
And how ironic the way you came to it was seeking a traditional cure.
And let me just put it out there, medical health care, which inevitably is sick care because we don't go to our doctors when we're healthy. We go there when we're not well.
Yeah,
Definitely have a place.
absolutely.
There is a place for them. Thank goodness for them. If it
Absolutely.
wasn't for them, I'd have died.
Yeah,
They put me on life support. They gave me all the medication they needed to keep my body, physical body, alive so that I could then heal my emotional body along with my
exactly.
physical body. Once I started doing that, my physical body got healthier and healthier and healthier and healthier. And as more resilience and as more stamina and more like, I just turned 67 a couple of weeks ago, right? And I I'm running up and down the stairs and doing this and that. And I'm going, just a second. I'm really quite okay with this. I'm pretty healthy here. I'm still can do what I used to do. In fact, more so than I did when I was in my 20s or my 30s.
That's awesome. You're healthier now than you were in your 20s, which is amazing. Do what do most of your clients come to you with? Is it physical ailments or emotional or both?
You know what? It's a combination. It's the pain they feel in their body. Having gone to physicians and not getting diagnosis or getting a diagnosis, and yet not being able to find a cure or a solution to reduce that pain and discomfort in their body or even cure a disease. So they come for that. They come for that physical, emotional, and spiritual healing.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a another theoretical question. You can choose to decline if you like, but I'm kind of doing a survey, and I'm asking everyone, um, what's your take on the ascension, the change in Earth, 3D to 5D, the thinning of the veil, and so on? Is this a real thing? Is it just that more people are becoming more spiritual? What's the deal? What do you think?
I feel that people are finally feeling, again, that word safe, safe enough to articulate how they understand themselves, the earth, the energies, the people around. And we've all have had experiences, generations and generations before us have experienced this. I mean, let's go back to the time in which witches were burnt at the stake because they had these intuitive, clairvoyant abilities. And why were they burnt? My opinion, because others that didn't want to or were uncomfortable with what they were saying, thinking, or seeing were afraid of listening to them or hearing them, afraid of the truth that was being told, that it scared them. And, they just wanted to get rid of them because it just didn't work with their own head. They were very stuck in their head. So I believe that people are being allowed now to become more comfortable with who they truly are within and without, because we are all spiritual beings. We all hold energies, different types of energy. So they are, I don't know, 5D. I haven't really given it a name. People are now feeling more comfortable about talking from their heart, living in their heart, being within their heart. People are acknowledging that, you know what, I am the one in control of my own healing. Yes, thanks, healthcare, medical, for those that have chronic life-threatening diseases, disorders, cancers, heart, whatever, that they're able to physically remove, create something that they can continue to live physically. However, if you don't have the emotional coherence to heal from that, then you don't always make it through. Your body's not capable of healing beyond the physical changes that healthcare has given you. So who are we? Again, we are spiritual beings and experiencing a human physical body and overcoming what the human experience is giving us by staying grounded, centered, and really just being who we are inside, that beautiful part of us, because our souls are pure, they're honest with us, and they're great, wonderful teachers.
Yeah, and it's not that easy to recognize. It's not that easy to accept because we're so entrenched in our bodies and we see them every day. Look in the mirror and you don't see your soul.
You feel it. The thing is most of us, and I did for 40 years of my life, lived in my head, completely forgetting there was something below my head that kept my whole being, my whole physical body going. So yeah, you stay in your head, you do that logic linear thinking, and you don't recognize that all these other things within your body is creating what's going on up here. So I teach on the mind, heart, and gut. So the head, heart, gut, right? And they're all three brains. They're the three brains in our body. Most of us stay here. I did for a long time, as I said. However, the heart and gut speak more to the brain than in reverse. And they do that through the microbiome and neural network of our system. So if you walk around believing everything that's happening up here is going down here, parts of it are. It's quite in reverse. So here we've spent many generations forgetting to honor and acknowledge what our body is truly doing, teaching us. So the head, I think, the heart, I feel, the gut, I am. That's your power center. When you combine those three brains, those three energy brains, you're very powerful. Every day we all do that. We just don't recognize it. So what I say is if you walk around saying, I think, it's like, you know what? Spend the next week when you have words coming out of your mouth that say, I think, pause and say, I feel. And then you'll feel the shift in energy. It will come from a different place and space within you, and you will start creating a different way of seeing, a different way of understanding. So then the next week, use I am, which is your true power center. I am. So I'll give an example. I think I'm sick. Okay, you can think that. I feel I'm sick. Okay, you kind of connected to the body now. I feel it. Or I am sick. Guess what? You just made your body believe you're sick. Because what you say, you hear here, and your body goes, yep, that's the right answer. Yeah, I am sick. You say that continually. Guess what? You become sick. What I do, and I'm not perfect at it, I'm still learning. I'm here on this earth to learn every day. Yeah, there's times I don't feel very good, kind of lethargic or fatigued, and maybe running a low-grade fever, and it's like, okay, what do I need to do? How do I deal with this? Go looking out there and everything, right? Because that's how we're taught. Once I stop and go within and go, okay, body, I'm listening. Tell me what I need to hear. What's going on? Is there emotions there? What triggered this? Where is this all coming from? What am I not listening to? What am I not respecting? Or is it just plainly my body's fatigued and says, you need to go have a nap? Forget going shopping. Forget doing a course. You need to have a nap. It is your body's way of keeping you healthy when you do listen to it.
Yeah. Rather than just the next thing on the to-do list, which is so easy to do, but actually stop for a second. What is this pain in my stomach telling me?
The pause. I call it the pause.
Yeah,
We don't take time to pause. And it's so healing when you do.
yeah. We think there's no time. I don't have time to pause.
And if you don't pause, your body screams at you until you go, now you're in bed for 3 days because you didn't take the pause. I've been
Ex-
there. I've been there. I've done that back in the day. I don't do that anymore. I now listen to the best of my ability. I would full tilt until I crashed, and then I'd be in bed for 3 days. How productive is that? It's not. Even if it means
Exactly.
slowing down for a few days, you get something done.
Hmm. Hmm. Little by little.
Mhm.
Maureen, what's your message for the audience today? What would you like to leave us with?
Oh, the message is to listen to what your body tells you when you feel that sensation, when you feel that pain, or you feel that desperation to look outside yourself to find the reason why you are feeling mentally, physically the way you are. So just pause and truly take time to respect and honor your body. That's loving you.
Awesome. Do the pause. Do the pause. Well, Maureen, thank you so much for being here. I really enjoyed the conversation. And I think something tells me there's more to talk about, so maybe you'll come back.
Thank you so much for having me. I love sharing this, and I hope your audience is able to resonate. And I would love to just share more of what people would like to hear. So thank you for this opportunity. I really appreciate it.
You're so welcome. Thank
From
you for
my
being
heart
here.
to yours.
Accepted. Thank you very
Mm.
much. All right. I will talk to you again soon, okay?
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.